Welcome guys, I hope you enjoy this story. Please guys support me and subscribe for more videos. Thank you. Story name, Supreme Arch Magus, Chapter 1, Golden Piggy Card. Silverleaf Town, inside an old villa. Stop faking your study. You're not cut out for magic, a cold voice interrupted Kent as he tried to study a basic level magic spell. Kent adjusted his glasses and turned his gaze towards the beautiful woman before him, Thea Frost, his promised bride. She was 5 years older than him and worked as an elder at the same wizard school where Kent was a student. Kent was matched with Thea by her grandmother, who had adopted Kent. Last year, their grandmother died, and from that moment on, his nightmare began. What are you staring at? Get up, Thea snapped, interrupting his thoughts once again before closing the spell book before him. Wifey, what's going on? Kent asked Thea with a pale face. Though Thea disliked him from the start, she had never been this forceful to him. Your freeloading days are over, Kent. I promised my grandmother that I would take care of you until you became an adult. Today is your 18th birthday, so, find some work and feed yourself from now on. Also, leave the villa in a few days. I'm selling it, Thea declared harshly, showing no consideration for his feelings. But, Thea, I'm your husband, where can I go? Kent asked, not taking Thea's words to heart. You useless piece of shit, stop calling me wifey. No one marries a loser like you. All you want is a sugar mama. Go find one, Thea spat as she took the spell book from Kent. Though angry, Kent remained silent and didn't utter a single word. His adopted grandmother had made him promise to always love Thea, no matter the situation. Her last words were still fixed in his heart. 5 minutes later, Kent stood outside the door with his old, tattered bamboo bag. Thea locked the door and called for her pet with a whistle. Without having any pets to carry him to the wizard school, Kent continued to walk down the road with a depressed face, thinking about what part-time jobs he could get from his 3rd grade Magus level. Just as he reached the wizard school entrance, 2 bald eagles landed forcefully before him. Taken aback, Kent fell back on the road. A second later, blood started dripping from his elbow. Hey Kent, where are my coins? You said you would pay up today, a lady with a round, fat face and plump bosom demanded, ignoring Kent's bleeding elbow. Kent slowly stood up, blocking the bleeding with his bare hand. I don't have any coins now. Give me a few days. I'm starting a part-time job today, and I will definitely pay up as soon as possible, he replied while blowing his burning elbow. That's not our deal. You should pay up today. It's just 20 bronze coins. Don't you have any parents for pocket money? Mona questioned in a mocking tone. Before Kent could reply, Mona's boyfriend chimed in. Mona, let's go. He is a pauper without any backing. We need to go on a date after classes. Let's hurry, said Rick, a fat young man who sat on another bald eagle beside Mona, his gaze fixed on Mona's milk bags. Kent felt like beating the 2 lovebirds before him. He knows that Mona's family isn't wealthy, but to get along with the heirs of the rich, like Rick, she would always flaunt her figure in tight clothes. Kent, I don't care what you do, you should pay by this evening. Otherwise, I will complain to the elders, Mona warned Kent before taking flight. Rick purposefully hovered above Kent and stirred up all the dust and trash on the road. After letting out a mocking laugh, the evil duo left for school. Just as they left, Thea's eagle flew by him. She stopped for a brief moment above him and tossed a few copper coins. Treat your wound. Kent felt despair as he stared at Thea, who had completely shattered his pride. Cursing himself for his low cultivation, he moved forward, but after a few steps, he stopped before a large stone tablet that was placed at the school gate. Sky Family Wizard School. The letters were deeply engraved into the rock by a master-level wizard. Kent's gaze lingered on the school name. His fists clenched in anger. For the last 2 years, he remained in the same 3rd-class Magus level. It is his 3rd year in the same class. His classmate had already surpassed him, and he alone was struggling with his juniors. Kent was not a lazy disciple. From his first day at school, he worked relentlessly to become a successful Magus and take care of his grandmother and Thea. However, for some odd reason, his meridians couldn't hold much aura at a time. Despite his grandmother taking him to several healers, no one could pinpoint the exact problem. Kent's fists clenched as he recalled how futile all his efforts had been so far. While staring at the school name, Kent let out a heavy sigh and turned away from the school gate to seek some work in the town. Walking along the narrow, empty streets, Kent pondered where he might find some work. He visited a few herbal stores, asking for a store boy position, but nothing worked. After noticing his 3rd-class Magus level, no one showed any interest. With a depressed face, Kent began walking towards the outskirts where daily laborers worked. Just as he turned into a narrow street, a gust of wind pushed him back, and a large raven, the size of 2 adult humans, landed before him. No, don't eat me, Kent shrieked in fear, hurriedly moving back with his eyes closed. The raven had crimson evil eyes, sharp feathers, and golden claws. It pinned Kent to the ground, giving him no chance to escape. But even after a long time, the raven didn't attack Kent as he had expected. controlling his trembling limbs, Kent slowly opened his eyes to see why he was still alive. His gaze landed on the raven's silver beak. For some odd reason, the raven is staring at his face with a scrutinizing gaze. As Kent's gaze met the raven's crimson gaze, his heart began racing with fear. KKK, the black raven made coughing sounds, and in the next instance, a crystal ball appeared on its beak. The raven slowly bent its head down, gesturing for Kent to take the sky blue crystal ball. Even though he was quite baffled, Kent slowly stretched his shaking hand and picked up the crystal ball from the raven's beak. As soon as Kent grabbed the sky crystal with both hands, it vibrated with an incoming communication request. The image on the crystal ball belonged to a middle-aged woman with youthful looks. The lady continued to stare at Kent's face with a deep look. "Hi," Kent replied in a confused tone. In the next second, the lady's eyes filled with tears, and in an emotional tone, she spoke. "Kent, do you remember me? I'm your aunt." Kent was shocked. For instance, he thought someone was playing tricks on him. But the tears in the woman's eyes and her emotional outbreak seemed genuine, convincing him of her sincerity. "Grandmother said I didn't have any relatives. Then where is this aunt coming from? She called my name directly. That means she's definitely looking for me." Kent's thoughts raced as he struggled to digest this sudden twist in his life. "Kent, I'm really sorry. I should have found you a little early. But I promise you that from now on, I will really make up for my mistake. Due to our enemies, I couldn't meet you in person. Soon, I will clear up all the problems and meet in person. There's a piggy card in the raven's pouch, and I have deposited 5,000 gold coins in it for your pocket money. If you spend it all, just send me a message. Your mom left a fortune for you. I will tell you all the details when I meet you personally. Love you, Kent." The woman's image faded out on the crystal ball, a special edition of Sky Ball from the Wizard Association. Kent finally believed that he really had a relative in this world. While the raven still stood steadily before him, Kent controlled his fear and reached his hand inside the creature's feathery pouch. Chapter 2. I will sleep with you. Even though he was holding a golden piggy card in his hands, Kent found it hard to believe that it was genuine. To clear his doubts, he decided to first visit the Goblin House branch of the Wizard Association, which handled all the financial matters. But the raven who had brought the message still stood before him, not leaving. Is this raven also a gift? Kent wondered. Staring at Kent, the raven inserted its beak inside the pouch and pulled out a small glass bottle. As Kent picked up the glass bottle, the raven immediately flew away without wasting another second, its large wing disturbing the air in the narrow street. Adjusting his hair, Kent focused his gaze on the glass bottle. A green elixir glowed inside the bottle with an emerald sparkle. As he took a closer look, Kent noticed that there was a message written on the glass bottle. "Kent, this potion bottle contains heavenly elixir. It can cure the binding curse on your meridians. Your mom spent a lot to get this potion for you. I hope you will also become a great magus like your parents' Aunt A.N.L." Just as he finished reading, the message vanished from the bottle. "What the hell? Who placed a binding curse on me? For all these years, I've been practicing magic like an idiot without knowing that I'm cursed," Kent muttered angrily, gripping the bottle in his hand tightly. Instead of swallowing the heavenly elixir right away, Kent decided to first check the money in the bank. Due to his experience with bullying, Kent knew that he couldn't take the risk. After a 15-minute walk, Kent arrived at the Goblin House of Silverleaf Town. Despite its name, Goblin House, almost 90% of the workers here were humans. Kent went directly to the empty cabin, where a young lady sat leisurely, watching a mage combat scene through her ordinary glass crystal. After taking a brief glance at Kent's poor outfit, she continued her leisure activity. Kent placed the golden piggy card on the desk and asked, "I want to withdraw 90 silver and 1,000 bronze coins." With a lazy look, the girl placed the crystal on the desk and picked up the card. Kent thought the lady would be surprised after seeing the card, but a mocking smile formed on the lady's face. "How much do you say?" the girl asked, staring at Kent with interest. 90 silver and 1,000 bronze coins, Kent replied again. "In total, 1 gold coin," the girl said in a mocking tone before placing the card on a green goblin skull-like device, but the skull didn't light up, as the girl thought. Without even asking another question, she rung a warning buzzer that was placed below the desk. Within seconds, a gang of security mages rushed inside and surrounded Kent. "Detain this scammer, and someone call the manager. This poor bastard tried to play tricks in the Goblin House," the woman shouted loudly in a high-pitched tone, grabbing the attention of everyone who was inside the bank. The security wizards immediately surrounded Kent and pointed their wands at Kent's face. "I'm doomed. Thank God, I didn't drink the green potion," Kent thought with his hands folded over his chest. The onlookers began gathering around to witness the commotion, some excited crowd even pointing their fingers at Kent with mocking comments. "Where is the manager? Someone called the manager quickly," the lady accountant continued to shout like a girl who had escaped rape. "Gia, stop shouting. What happened?" the manager arrived hurriedly and questioned the lady with an angry glare. "Manager, you should imprison this scammer. This fellow dared to produce a fake golden piggy card," Jia replied in a righteous tone. The old manager didn't act rashly. He first took the golden piggy card from Jia. With only 1000 golden piggy cards in existence on the blue planet, one must first see a card to fake it. After a careful observation of the card, the manager felt that it was genuine. "Young man, this card seems original. Jia, did you check the card on Goblin's head?" The manager questioned Jia, his face serious. Yes, manager. If you want to check again, please do it," Jia said, pushing the green goblin's head towards the manager. "Manager, don't be fooled by the card's appearance. This poor brat asked to withdraw silver and bronze from the card. Such a loser." Jia took this chance to insult Kent. But after seeing the green goblin's head, the manager's face turned red with anger and he spat at the woman. "You stupid girl, you have been working in this house for 3 years. Don't you know where to test the golden piggy card? You, go to my cabin and bring the golden goblin skull," the manager turned to one of his servants and ordered while controlling his anger. Years of experience told the manager that it was definitely a genuine card. "All of you, put down your weapons. Jia, apologize to this young master," the manager commanded in a serious tone. Jia, however, refused. She believed that the card was fake, and the thing that convinced her of his was Kent's poor appearance. "Why should I apologize, manager? Once the card is verified, you will see the truth yourself. In any case, I won't apologize to this pauper," Jia replied with a smirk, staring mockingly at Kent. A minute later, the servant returned with a golden goblin skull and placed it on the desk. All the onlookers and security gathered up around the desk to see the result. Meanwhile, Kent was also silently praying in his heart. If the card really turned out to be fake, the manager would definitely cut one of his limbs. As soon as the manager placed the card, the golden skull glowed, and the number 5000 appeared beside the gold coin image. "What the? That's 5000 gold coins. It is a really golden piggy card. LMAO, one of the ladies among the onlookers cried out in surprise. "What? No, manager, there is definitely something wrong," Jia cried out nervously, her eyes wide open with shock after seeing the number. "Are you blind? Look at the serial number, you idiot," the manager pointed at the unique number displayed on top. The serial number read, Kent 0008, the first card among the 1000 golden piggy cards. "What are you all staring at? Move out. Security, close the house for an hour, send everyone out." "Young Master Kent, I am really sorry for the trouble. Please come to my cabin. I will personally process your request." "Jia, what are you still doing? Apologize, or you will lose your job," the manager threatened angrily while handing the card back to Kent. But Jia still stood defiantly. "Manager, there is definitely something wrong. He must have stolen the card. Why don't you inquire about the name Kent? He's definitely a fraud," Jia shouted scornfully. Kent, who had remained silent till now, decided to teach this lady a lesson. "Manager, it seems you are not capable. I'd better go to the main house and put an inquiry on this branch," Kent said in a warning tone as he turned away to leave. The manager's heart skipped a beat. "Young master, please wait." The manager hurriedly stopped Kent and turned towards the lady accountant. "Jia, you are fired. I'm going to write a banishment letter to the head magus of the Silver Leaf Town. Let's see where you will work after leaving this place." The manager directly called security and ordered them to throw Jia out of the house. "No, manager, please don't do this. My family will starve if I don't have this job," Jia pleaded, but the manager ignored her. Desperate, Jia hurriedly pushed away the security and fell before Kent and began banging her head on the floor. "Sorry, young master. I'm an idiot. Please forgive this trash. I will do whatever you say. I will even sleep with you if you want. Young master, please spare me this one time." Jia held Kent's knees tightly while tears spoiled all her makeup, revealing her true, ugly face. Even the manager felt ashamed after seeing her true face, regretting doing stuff with this woman in the past. Chapter 3, All Debts Paid. With 1000 bronze and 90 silver coins in his pocket, Kent walked out of the goblin house. The manager personally escorted him, apologizing several times to get on the good side. As compensation for the trouble, the manager linked Kent's golden piggy card with the sky orb in his possession free of charge. Before buying anything with the card, Kent decided to pay all his school debts. With a confident stride, he began walking towards school. Inside the school, Thea was teaching a class to the third-level mages. Her gaze occasionally drifted to the empty seat in the last row. "Where did this idiot go without coming to school?" Thea muttered while trying to finish the lecture on types of potions. Just as the class bell rang, Thea closed the book and called Mona, who had been eyeing the new sword in Rick's hands. Mona hurriedly responded and went out to meet with Thea. "Elder, why did you call me?" Thea felt contemplated for a second, but she finally spoke. "Do you know why Kent is absent today? I saw you with Kent in the morning." "Yeah, I met him in the morning to collect my money. Kent said he is going to look for some part-time work today. I don't know where he went though, Mona replied while closely observing Thea. Thea sighed after hearing her reply. By the way, how much does he owe you? She asked, picking up some bronze coins from her pocket. 100 bronze coins, Elder, Mona said, directly increasing the amount from 20 to 100 upon seeing that Thea was prepared to pay. Without thinking much, Thea placed 100 bronze coins in Mona's hands. Kent is a poor disciple. Don't pressure him for money. I heard he can't even afford a pet, Thea spoke modestly before heading towards the Elder Hall. Just as Thea walked halfway, she saw Kent walking towards the classrooms with a smile on his face. She waited until Kent reached the corridor and stopped him and asked, "Where did you go? Don't know that you have a class?" Kent ignored Thea and walked past her, showing no care. Thea immediately grabbed his robes to stop his advancement. "How dare you ignore me? Don't you know who fed you all these years?" Thea questioned angrily in a hushed tone. "Thea, it's none of your business. I will go wherever I want. Stop acting like you care about me," Kent replied confidently, not backing down from her angry glares. Thea was left speechless. In all these years Kent had never talked back to her. Even when she slapped him, he never showed any resistance. But his newfound bravery made Thea angrier. "You, how dare you talk back to me? Let's see how you survive without my help. If I ever see you at my doorstep, I will kick you like a dog." Thea lashed out while keeping her tone low. No one in the school knows about her relationship with Kent. Kent was fed up with her behavior. Since childhood, she had always bullied him and insulted him without caring about his feelings. When Kent got a fortune of money, he had considered convincing Thea to live with him. "I'm not going to stay with you anymore. From now on, I'm on my own," Kent declared angrily and walked away. "She thinks that I will beg her like always. Now I own 5,000 gold coins. Thea's entire wealth, including the house, doesn't even reach 500 gold coins," Kent thought while walking away from her. Thea's fists clenched as she stared at Kent, who was walking away with a smug on his face. "HMMHH, let's see how many days survive outside. Soon, you will be begging for my mercy." Just as Kent stepped inside the classroom, murmuring about him spread like wildfire. Some students even laughed at his face, trying to raise him up. With only 5 minutes left before the next class began, Kent moved through the crowd of disciples and paid his debt. As he consecutively paid more than 50 coins to 3 people, everyone's attention turned towards him. Ignoring their comments, Kent distributed his debt amount to those who helped him in the past. "Oh, Kent, where did you get all this money?" a slender girl asked in surprise while taking coins from him. However, Kent ignored her question and continued to settle his debts, but his actions drew even more attention. Soon people began asking more questions and some began commenting in a mocking tone. "Sia, he must have robbed someone, you better report it to the elder," Rick, who always takes fun in bullying Kent, shouted. Yes, these coins are not legal. How can he afford hundreds of bronze coins? "You guys should report it to the elder. Otherwise, you will also be blamed later," another person added, stirring up trouble. Kent stood on the bench and announced, "This money belongs to me. If any problem arises, I will take full responsibility. If anyone thinks otherwise, please return my money." Hearing Kent's confident declaration, the disciples shut their mouths. Kent finished paying up everyone, including Mona, unaware that Thea had already paid her on his behalf. Still, being someone who wouldn't avoid free money, Mona didn't reject it, much less say anything about Thea, who had already paid her. After settling his debts, Kent left the class to buy a new house. He urgently needs shelter after breaking all ties with Thea. As he walked towards the property dealer's stores, Kent took out the heavenly elixir and gulped it down in one go. By the time he reached the store of the property dealer, his clothes were drenched with sweat and impurities, his meridian bindings were shattered, and for the first time, Kent felt the free flow of aura inside his meridians. "For all these years I have missed this feeling. How refreshing," Kent muttered in a delightful tone as he absorbed the pure aura inside the store. Chapter 4. Hanging Pearl Palace. "Hey, stop right there. This isn't a ration store." As Kent stepped into the property dealer's store, a young man draped in the clothing of an assistant halted him. Kent wasn't offended. His current attire looked worse than a beggar's. His clothes had turned yellow from the black substances secreted by his body. Sorry. Please, ignore my outfit. I came here to buy a villa," Kent replied humbly, wiping his face with a handkerchief. "You are here to buy a villa?" the young man, Jake, asked with a surprised look. He then scrutinized Kent from head to toe. "Hey, Harry, Richard, come see this. A rich young master is here to buy a villa," Jack called all his staff, amused by Kent's presence. "Brad, do you even know how much a small house in the slum site costs? It's 1 gold coin. As for the villas, it's 2 gold coins. Not just that, the commercial areas are multiple times more expensive than the standard prices," Jack said in a lecturing tone followed by a mocking laughter. "Hey, Jack, why don't you show him some villa pictures? Maybe he will understand what it really costs, suggested a girl attendant in a soft tone. Yes, I can really afford it, Kent tried to explain, feeling that it was also his fault to appear with this disheveled appearance, but Jack didn't give any chance for Kent to speak. Leah, look at this brat. Do you think he can really afford a villa? I bet he can't even afford 6 feet of land for a grave. I can guarantee that he came here just to experience the pure aura inside the store, Jack spoke, staring at Kent with disdain. He despised people who tried to pretend rich and would come only to waste their time. Just as Kent was preparing to show them his golden piggy card, an old man dressed in neat iron clothes and holding a silver sword in his hand entered the store. The old man, flaunting costly ornaments, exuded the air of a wealthy family head. Jack immediately ignored Kent and went to greet the old man, bowing and showing him the utmost respect. The assistant's body language took a drastic turn as he bowed down to the old man and accompanied him from the entrance with humble gestures. Sir, are you looking to buy any property? Jack asked, adjusting a chair for the old man. Yes, I would like to see villas, but before that, bring me some tea, my throat is a bit sore, the old man ordered as he sat down on the chair. For some odd reason, the old man had asked for Jack to stand beside him to explain the new villa models, a deviation from the usual practice where the attendants would stand opposite to the customer to explain the models by showing pictures. Jack also complied with the old man's request and stood close to the old man. Meanwhile, Kent stood in the same place, being ignored, growing increasingly frustrated since no one paid any attention to him even after a long time. Just as he decided to leave, a middle-aged lady in a nice thigh skirt entered. Young man, what do you want? The middle-aged lady who was also the manager of the store questioned Kent, who stood there with no one asking him. I want to, but before he could finish, an annoying voice interrupted. Manager Mia, please ask the security to throw out this brat. He's here just to enjoy the pure aura of our store, Jack shouted with mocking laughter. Just as he finished, Jack felt the old man's hand on his upper back. He felt elated, mistaking that the old man was more concerned for him. After observing Kent's appearance, Manager Mia agreed with Jack. As Jack was a top salesperson in the store, she asked Kent to leave the store. What a shitty store. I was planning to buy a big villa. You're not the only store in this town, Kent said angrily and turned around to leave. What a pretender, stop putting on airs like a rich young master. A poor brat like you can't even afford a hole in this town, Jack jeered, his mocking laughter echoed by the staff. They all thought that Kent was just pretending. As Kent left the store, Jack turned his attention back to the old man. Sir, this is a glass villa on the commercial street. Our store is offering a 25% discount on this. Jack continued to show various pictures, explaining everything sincerely. Kent, meanwhile, walked into the property store across the road and directly slammed his golden piggy card onto their table. Back at the previous store, Jack was still trying to pester the old man to buy a villa, even offering extra discounts to the old man. However, the old man just enjoyed the tea while he continued to rub Jack's back. Suddenly, the old man's hand slipped onto Jack's rear. The young man tried to move away, but the old man's grip held him tightly against the old man's body. Jack was afraid to offend the old man since he was a stage 1 master magus. Just as Jack was thinking of a way to escape, a rakha beast the size of a large tree landed in front of the property store across the street. All the employees and workers inside hurried to the entrance to see the beast. That's the fire rakha beast used for VIP customers. Looks like our competitors hit the jackpot today, the manager, Mia, spoke in a surprised tone as she stood among the group. But before others could say anything, they saw Kent accompanied by a beautiful lady climbing onto the beast. What? Don't tell me he is the VIP customer they summoned the fire rakha beast for. A sales girl with heavy makeup cried out in surprise. Seems like our rivals got scammed today, Jack, who finally got away from the old man's hands, commented with mocking laughter. But the manager had a different view. The fire rakha beasts would only be summoned for the customer who makes the biggest purchase and only after a substantial deposit was made first for security. Just as they were wondering about the truth, the opposite store manager, who was also a lady, hurriedly over to Jack's group. Hey, Jack, thanks for sending over a VIP customer. That young master made the biggest purchase in my store. The manager, a lady named Rosie, replied happily and placed a small chocolate which was worth 1 bronze coin in Jack's hands. By the way, this chocolate is a gift from that young master, Rosie added with a burst of mocking laughter and glanced at the store manager Mia with a smug smile. Miss Rosie, did you make a mistake? That fellow is a pauper, Jack questioned. What? No, that young master already paid 1500 gold coins for the Hanging Pearl Villa in the commercial street. He promised to pay full price after seeing the place. By the way, I got a 10% commission from this sale, Rosie grinned as she left. Manager Mia's face turned red from anger upon hearing about the purchase. The Hanging Pearl Palace cost 3,000 gold coins, and a 10% commission meant that her opponent earned 300 gold coins just from it, which was worth a year's salary for Mia. Jack's face turned pale after seeing his manager's furious face. Meanwhile, the old man who took advantage of Jack also slipped away from the store unnoticed. Remembering how Jack had ruined her fortune, Mia kicked Jack, sending him rolling down the stairs of the store. Chapter 5. Temptation. Sir, did you like the house? Stella, the beautiful lady assistant, asked Kent after giving him a brief tour of the place. As the manager, Rosie had instructed her to take good care of Kent, so Stella was being especially attentive. She even undid the top collar button of her blouse to catch Kent's eyes. Kent was really impressed by the place. As the name suggests, the entire structure was shaped like a giant pearl, suspended from above with the help of magic inscriptions. Inside, everything was neat and polished with a touch of luxury. There is a separate pet space that could accommodate more than 4 large pets at once. Yeah, I really liked everything. When can I move in? Kent asked with a satisfied smile. I will prepare the property document papers by tomorrow and call you for a signature. However, I suggest giving us 2 days to fully decorate the house and furnish it, Stella replied with a charming smile as she led him from one room to the other. This means that I need to stay outside for 2 more days. I can spend these 2 days at Angel Plaza. I heard they have a good meditation chamber and a private spa, Kent thought, planning what he had to do in the next 2 days. Sir, is that okay for you? Stella asked again as she opened the bedroom door to show the special features of room, not what you think. Yeah, here's my orb. Please add your contact information, Kent said while passing a brand new sky orb gifted by his aunt. Wow, Stella's mouth dropped wide open at the sight of the smooth orb with advanced features. Until now, she had doubts about Kent, thinking that he was buying the house for someone else, but after seeing the orb, her fingers trembled in excitement. She immediately connected the 2 orbs together, and in the second, their contact information was exchanged. With more enthusiasm, she showed Kent the bedroom, highlighting the pure aura feature of the room, and an advanced spa bath. The training room, which is designed for combat training, was also attached to the main bedroom. Sir, if you don't mind, your clothes seem a little dirty. Why don't you take a bath? Stella suggested meekly with a submissive gesture, her cheeks reddening with shyness. Although her colleagues often talked about sharing rooms with wealthy customers, Stella had never been in such a situation, but she thought that today was the day of her submission. Oh, about that, I don't have another pair of clothes, Kent replied with an awkward smile. That's not a problem, sir. Hanging Pearl Palace has an advanced feature for cleaning your clothes. A special inscription cleans your clothes in 5 minutes. Why don't you try it? Stella suggested hurriedly without a second thought. That's really helpful. But, Kent stuttered as he tried to point out her presence. However, Stella didn't want to lose this opportunity. She would receive a 5% commission if this transaction was completed. This one commission would be then equivalent to a year's salary. That's why Stella did not hesitate to grab the chance before her. Sir, you don't need to worry. This place is completely safe. I will prepare the bathtub for you. Please change into a bath towel, Stella replied as she opened the washroom's mosaic glass doors and began filling the marble tub with water, skillfully adding different fragrances and a milk potion, which helped smooth the skin. Despite feeling somewhat awkward, Kent removed his dirty clothes and wrapped a bath towel around his waist. Mr. Kent, please come in, Stella called out with a smile, though it looked a bit different to Kent, who stood before the bathtub, which is the size of his classroom. Stella's heart was trembling with anticipation as she imagined what was going to happen next. Meanwhile, she also loosened her robes, imagining the next sequence of events. After a prolonged silence, Kent finally opened his mouth as Stella stood there motionless. Stella, thank you for your service. Why don't you wait outside? As a girl, it should be uncomfortable for you. Kent smiled innocently, unaware of her thoughts. Sir, please don't mind me. I'm here to guide you on how to use the features of this spa unit. Stella smiled awkwardly, still standing nervously, wondering why Kent was not pulling her into the bathtub or asking her to wash his back. Oh, Kent sighed in despair and stepped into the spa unit without removing the towel around his waist. After submerging himself in a milky white solution and feeling that his little brother was secure from anyone's gaze, Kent finally removed the towel. Stella approached the bathtub, explaining one feature at a time while pointing at different outlets placed at the head of the spa tub. Also, Mr. Kent, after washing your body in the first milky white solution, you need to open this outlet and release half of the solution. After draining, you need to push this button, which will add hot water to relax your muscles, Stella explained as she opened the outlet to drain the milky white solution. Since Stella's robes were a little loose, every time she bent down to point out the spa feature, they would reveal glimpses of her snow-white breast would be pushed out, attracting Kent's gaze. His little brother had already raised a red flag. Kent swallowed hard, trying to avoid looking at her mountains. But on the other hand, Stella was getting impatient. She got all prepared to jump in with Kent whenever he gave a small hint, but he was acting all innocent and avoiding her with a little nod. Impatiently, she opened the water outlet to drain more water, hoping to create a scenario where Kent's pet could meet its slot. Kent's heart raced as he stared at the draining water, which was leaving at great speed. Stella bent down more to take a closer look at things, but Kent lowered himself into the water with an awkward gaze. "Miss, you should stop the drainage. More than half the water has left the tub," Kent said meekly, trying to avoid staring at her snow-white, perky mounts. After letting out a disappointed sigh, Stella stopped the outlet and clicked on the hot water inlet. She finally understood that Kent didn't have any thought of doing anything intimate with her. "Sir, please push this button after you finish the bath. Fresh towels were in this compartment. I will go and clean your clothes in the meantime. I hope you like these spa facilities," Stella said, her tone neutral, and left the room before Kent could say anything. As she closed the glass door, tears welled up in Stella's eyes. "It seems like he isn't interested in me. I should try harder next time," Stella affirmed, picking up Kent's clothes. Kent quickly finished his bath, keeping his little brother in check to not let poke its head out. By the time he came out, Stella had already placed his clothes on the bed and stood outside. Within 5 minutes, Kent and Stella exited out of the Hanging Pearl Palace. Kent paid the remaining 1,500 gold as promised, but Stella didn't smile like before. She just thanked Kent and handed the master key to him. "Mr. Kent, I'll personally prepare the property documents in 2 days. Do you want to go anywhere now?" "I can drop you," Stella asked humbly as they approached the Fire Rakha beast. "Oh, that's really helpful. Can you take me to a pet store?" Kent asked, remembering that he didn't have any pets to freely travel from one place to another. Chapter 6, Wild Pet and Blood Contract, Great Magus Pet Store. Kent stood before the entrance of the pet shop with a serene smile on his face. Since childhood, he had always wanted a pet of his own. In the past, he used to fly on Thea's pet to run errands for her, but since last year, she hadn't even allowed him to touch her pet. "Finally, today my dream will come true," Kent muttered as he stepped inside the store. Meanwhile, Stella has already left the store, deciding to play hard games to attract Kent. The pet store was a single large room without any private spaces. Magical screens, displaying various pets, were placed in a single line. The store was packed with people, and staff assistants were personally helping a few rich customers. Kent walked along the line, looking for an empty screen to select a pet. Through the glass door outside, Kent had seen an open field where several types of pets were stationed for sale. However, house eagles were in large numbers among the pets since they were cheap and didn't require special feeding. But even after waiting for a long time, Kent couldn't find an empty screen. The staff readily occupied the screens to engage rich customers, and no one cared about Kent's presence, since his ordinary outfit didn't attract anyone. Meanwhile, Kent's gaze landed on 3 empty screens placed opposite the single row of screens. These 3 screens looked different, with decorative frames and larger displays. After hesitating for a second, Kent approached the screens and began swiping his finger over one to take a look at the images of different types. His eyes widened as the pets displayed on this screen were entirely different from the others and more attractive. With a smile, Kent began examining every type of pet. He used the zoom feature to read their description, while the prices mentioned about them were also in the range of 400 to 700 gold coins. "Ria, I will help this customer. Go to the VIP screen. We have a big customer there," Sony, the senior staff member, instructed Ria, a newcomer to the pet store. Ria nodded and left without questioning. She knew that Sony had purposefully pushed her away. "HMMHH, what a cunning lady. If he was really a VIP customer, she would be licking his shoes by now," Ria muttered while approaching Kent, who was staring at the screen with his eyes wide open. Ria's frustration grew after seeing Kent on the VIP screen. The manager had already warned them to keep normal customers away from VIP screens. If the manager sees that brat now, I will be doomed, Ria thought, hurrying over to Kent with quick steps. Sir, sorry for the interruption. These screens are meant for VIP customers who can afford costly pets. I will help you choose more affordable ones. Please come with me," Ria said, masking her frustration from Kent. "Sorry, I really didn't know that these were VIP screens. But, miss, please don't misjudge me. I can afford these pets. Could you help me choose a good pet? I promise you, I will definitely buy one," Kent spoke honestly, preparing to take out his golden piggy card. "It's okay, even if you can't buy one, I won't mind. I'm also new to this job. Let me show my skill," Ria replied, thinking of using Kent to demonstrate her skill in helping customers choose pets. "Hello sir, what type of pet were you looking for?" Ria asked with a cheerful smile. "I want a defensive type pet. It should be attractive and I would prefer it to have special abilities. Most importantly, the pet must be unique. I'm ready to pay the full cost at once," Kent stated his conditions and crossed his arms to see how Ria would respond. "Ha, good choice, sir. You really came to the right place. Let me give you a brief intro to our defensive and attractive pets, Ria said with a smile and moved onto the screen to explain. Sir, there are 3 different categories of pets available to VIP customers. The first is epic rank pets, which cost around 400 to 600 gold. The second is legendary rank pets, which cost 600 to 800 gold. And the final category is wild beasts. Wild beasts aren't readily available. The head department of the Green Magus pet store marks a few beats, and when one customer orders a wild beast, we catch it, and a master magus will tame it within a day. Most importantly, wild beasts have the feature of forming a blood contract with their master, Ria explained while moving her fingers on the screen, showing different types of pets available in each category. Ken smiled with an understanding nod while taking a look at the screen. Miss, what is the cost of a wild beast? He asked curiously, intrigued by the more imposing description of the wild beast than the ones shown on the screen. Sir, they cost around 1000 gold. However, their prices vary depending on the type of pet you choose. Also, our store is offering a 30% discount card on your pet decoration at any location in this city, Ria said with a proud smile and moved her fingers onto the Wild Beasts tab. Sir, let me show you some wild beasts and their features. You can decide after taking a look. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm here to assist you, Ria spoke in a humble tone as she moved onto the holographic magic platform connected to the screen. The next moment, a 3D model of a large beast materialized before Ken's eyes. Like a professional assistant, Ria manipulated the image to her desire. Sir, as you requested a defensive, unique, and attractive pet, our store has found 3 options for you. This is a griffin. Notice its lion face, it's ferocious at the time of defense. The second one is wyvern. This pet almost resembles a dragon and has the capability to soar high into the skies. And at last, we have a kirin. As Ria switched the image to a kirin, a horse-shaped beast with a dragon's face appeared on the 3D platform. The kirin had a single horn akin to a unicorn, glowing with a bright red and white combination. Teenagers and children who came for fun had already started gathering around Kent and Ria after seeing the advanced 3D models. A loud murmuring started as the crowd gazed at the kirin. Meanwhile, Kent focused on reading the pet's description. He was really impressed with the special features mentioned about the kirin and couldn't help but wonder how it could fly without wings. Ria, if this kirin didn't have any wings, how does it fly? Kent asked, confused. Some adults who had been watching the 3D model smirked after hearing his question. Sir, the kirin is a unique beast. It can fly with the help of momentum, and being a magical creature by birth, these magic beasts can control their movement with free will. So, do you like this kirin, sir? Ria asked, maintaining her professional demeanor. She enjoyed how everyone was focusing on her as she explained the details to Kent. Yeah, I like this one. What is its price? Kent asked, smiling as his gaze focused on kirin. You can't afford it even in your next life, a young man among the onlookers murmured, laughing along with his friends. Ria ignored those remarks and checked the kirin's current sale price on the screen. Sir, after discounts, this will cost you 1049 gold. Also, I finished my demonstration. Let's proceed with your order. Ria replied as her demeanor changed from humble assistant to serious professional. Her tall physique and slender figure provided a captivating sight for the onlookers. Miss, I would like to buy this one. Please process the order, Kent spoke, handing Ria his golden piggy card. Wow, Chapter 7, Shameless Hitch. I said the demonstration was over, kid. You don't need to continue the act, Ria said, trying to move away. No, you misunderstood me. I'm not acting. Please order that wild kirin for me. Don't you know what this card is? Kent replied, flipping the golden piggy card. Please don't waste my time. I need to find a rich customer. You better leave me now, Ria said, her face uneasy but she still maintained a polite tone since so many people were staring at them from a distance. Why don't you try this card once? I really want that, kirin, Kent replied impatiently. What's happening, Ria? Why are you operating the 3D screen? Suddenly, a tall, middle-aged man in formal clothes approached Ria from behind, his loud tone attracting the attention of everyone present. Ria's body shuddered after hearing the manager's voice. She nervously turned around to face him, her hands shaking and was unable to open her mouth to explain things. Sony, the senior assistant who had tricked Ria into attending Kent, hurriedly joined the scene. Manager in, I asked her to stop this poor young man from approaching VIP screens. I'm sorry, manager. I should have done it myself, Sony said, feigning a sad face and fake tears. What, Ria, is this true? Manager Rin demanded angrily. Ria tried to explain, but after seeing the manager's furious face, she couldn't utter another word. Meanwhile, Kent, who stood by the side, didn't understand what was going on but after seeing Ria's moist eyes, he understood that he was the cause of her sorrow. Manager Rin, I asked her to demonstrate the expensive pets. You don't need to blame her. Also, here's my card. Please process my order for wild kirin, Kent spoke confidently as he stretched his hand to pass the golden piggy card. The manager glared at Kent with a serious face, almost ready to lash out, but right at the last moment, his gaze landed on the golden piggy card. He immediately snatched it from Kent's hands to take a closer look. Is this a golden piggy card? The manager questioned in a surprised tone, unable to believe that he was actually holding one. Yes, it's a golden piggy card. You can verify it however you like, Kent replied, crossing his arms. The manager, Rin, turned silent since he couldn't believe what Kent had said. He scrutinized the card for a long time, doubting its authenticity since he had never seen a real golden piggy card in real life. Also, Kent's appearance didn't satisfy his doubts. Rhea, take this card to the accounts room and process this young man's order. Do it quickly. I want to know whether he is telling the truth, Rin ordered, passing the card to Rhea. Rhea hurriedly ran away with the card in hand, relieved that Manager Rin's attention had shifted towards Kent. Manager Rin, why are you wasting your time? Look at his clothes. I guess he probably can't even afford a mouse. Let me call the security. We shouldn't tolerate this type of fraud, Sony, who was always ready to gain the manager's favor, said with a smirk face and pulled out her glass orb to call the security. Manager Rin didn't stop her and continued to patiently stare at Kent. He was almost certain that the card was a fake one, but his years of experience let him maintain his composure. Meanwhile, most of the onlookers also shared the same skepticism. Rhea, who went inside, returned, running faster than she first left. She was shaking from head to toe as she stopped before Manager Rin, her heart racing like a horse while she gasped for air. Rhea, what happened? Is that card legit? Manager Rin asked in a serious tone as he gazed at Rhea. Rhea, who was gasping for air, handed the golden piggy card and a small receipt along with it to the manager without saying a word. After letting out an impatient sigh, Manager Rin examined the receipt. The colors on his face changed as he saw the receipt. Paid, 0.1049 gold coins in one go. He double-checked the receipt and card, disbelief etched on his face. Manager, didn't I tell you? This brat is a complete fake. Now, shall we throw him out? Sony, who stood on one side, spoke confidently, misjudging the expression on Manager Rin's face. She assumed that Rhea would be celebrating by now if the card was legit. Shut up, you useless hitch. How many times do I have to tell you not to judge people based on looks? Manager Rin shouted angrily before turning to Kent. Young master, I'm really sorry. Please forgive us for not treating you well. After saying that, Manager Rin directly bowed before Kent without any reservation. He knew just how powerful the people with golden piggy cards were and he didn't want to leave any bad impression. Sony's face paled after seeing this interaction, but she immediately adjusted her demeanor and bowed beside the manager. Young master, this is all my fault. Please forgive me, she then said with the utmost respect. Inside, however, Sony was scheming a way to snatch Kent on her side. The commission on this one order was equal to her 1.5-year salary. Instead of regretting her misfortune, Sony was cursing Rhea inwardly. Is my order complete? When can I receive my pet? Kent turned towards Rhea and asked her with a polite smile. Meanwhile, Rhea, who was worried about her initial behavior towards Kent, felt relieved at his question. Young Master Kent, this is your order token. Your pet will arrive in 2 days. Also, on the same day, we will proceed with a blood contract with your pet, Rhea explained hurriedly, respect evident in her voice. That's good, then. Send me a message when the pet arrives. This is my orb. Please add your contact, Kent replied while passing the brand new sky orb, which gleamed with serene beauty. Isn't this a sky pearl? A teenage girl among the crowd exclaimed aloud. Sony's eyes immediately lit up after seeing the sky orb. Before Rhea could pick up the sky orb from Kent, Sony stepped forward and grabbed the orb with a wide smile. Young Master Kent, Rhea is new to this job. She doesn't know much about wild pets. Please let me help you. Also, she might have forgotten to tell you that we will provide a 30% discount card for the pet decoration if you buy a wild beast. Sony directly added Kent's contact information to her glass orb. Seeing her act like this, Rhea trembled with anger, ready to slap Sony. She never thought Sony could be such a cold-hearted hitch and wouldn't even have an ounce of shame. But before Rhea, someone else took action on her behalf. And what happened next shocked the entire crowd in the pet store. Chapter 8. Lavish Meal. Pa, pa, a loud smacking sound resonated through the large hall of the Great Magus pet store. Sony, who had snatched the sky orb from Kent's hands, fell flat on the ground. Manager Rin, who had smacked Sony without any hesitation, retrieved the sky orb from her and handed it to Rhea. Security, throw this garbage out. Don't let her step into this store again, Rin ordered resentfully. He was already worrying about how to appease Kent since it was his mistake to undermine a golden piggy card holder. In addition to his worries, Sony was also creating more headaches for him. Mr. Kent, I failed to properly teach my staff. Please forgive me. Rin bowed again with a sincere expression. When Kent was not responding, he turned towards Rhea and hinted at her to intervene. Rhea immediately seized the chance and stepped closer to Kent. Mr. Kent, thank you for doing business with us. Please take your order, and the discount card will be provided on the day of delivery. I apologize on behalf of my colleague, she spoke respectfully. Kent accepted the orb and golden piggy card from the manager. After completing the formalities, he left the store. As the manager nudged Rhea, she hurriedly followed Kent, trying to engage in a conversation with him, but Kent just smiled and walked on his way. Rhea, you've been promoted to senior assistant. From now on, you will handle all the VIP customers. Keep in mind that you must serve that young master very well in the future. Manager Rin, who walked from behind, spoke with a serious face. Nonetheless, he looked somewhat depressed since he wasn't able to befriend the golden piggy card holder. Rhea, however, was smiling shyly, like a new bride who was waiting in anticipation for her first wedding night. She had been promoted just after a few days of joining. After leaving the pet store, Kent headed towards Nightwitch Street. It was already evening, and his stomach was rumbling with hunger. He also needed a place to stay for the next 2 days. For that, Kent decided to visit Hotel Moonlight, the perfect spot for dining and resting. From now on, I should focus more on my magic. Aunt said that my parents are great magicians. I must not disappoint my aunt when she comes to visit me. More than that, I want to see Thea's face when I surpass her, Kent murmured while making his way towards Nightwitch Street, the slender bamboo bag hanging on his back carrying his old and new orbs. Luna, where are you? Sony, who stood outside the pet store, called her stepsister. My class is just finished. I'm walking home. Wait, are you crying? Luna asked, hearing Sony's sobs. Luna, I just lost my job. I don't know what to do now. Ow, who? Sony replied, her voice stuttering as she controlled her tears. What, but why? Aren't you a senior assistant? How can they remove you so suddenly? Luna asked, confused. It's a big story. I will tell you later. Please come here to pick me up. I came with others in the morning, Sony said, rubbing her eyes. It's okay, I will be there soon. Don't worry about the job. I will help you find another one, Luna replied assuringly in an elderly tone. This Luna was Kent's classmate when he joined the school. Nightwitch Street, inside Hotel Moonlight. Sorry, sir, we are currently renovating all our regular rooms. Only VIP rooms are available, the lady at the reception replied with an uneasy smile. Oh, then I will take the VIP room. Please register a room for me, Kent replied without thinking much. Sir, the VIP rooms cost 1 gold coin for every 24 hours. Also, we don't offer any discounts if you don't have a VIP pass, the 30-year-old receptionist, dressed in a tight skirt and business suit, replied with an artificial smile. No problem. I will take a VIP room, and most importantly, it should have an aura chamber, Kent replied, placing his golden piggy card on the transparent glass desk. As an experienced worker, the receptionist knows how to act without mixing her prejudice with business. She immediately picked up the card. Sir, every VIP room is equipped with advanced aura chambers, so you don't need to worry about that. Please let me know how many days you need the room for, she asked while maintaining her composure. 2 days, mostly. The receptionist placed the card inside a magic circle behind her and entered a number. Immediately, 1 gold coin was deducted, and Kent received a message in his sky orb. Typically, the hotel only charges a small deposit, with the customers only needing to pay the full amount upon departure. However, the receptionist charged more coins to see whether Kent could truly afford a VIP room. When the transaction went through, she felt surprised for a second. The next moment, her tone became more humble, and a genuine smile appeared on her face. Sir, this is the key to your room. Do you have any luggage? She asked while handing Kent a red keystone and his piggy card. Nothing, thanks for your service, Kent replied as he moved towards the House Eagle's station on one side. By placing the keystone on its head, the House Eagle would directly carry the customer to his allotted room. For others, they need to manually direct the pets towards the designated room. After reaching his suite, the first thing Kent did was order food by using a glass orb placed on the table for customer service. Before the food arrived, he began checking out every room. The VIP suite included a personal spa, an aura room, a dining hall, a large screen to watch magic competitions conducted all around the world, and a combat room to test their Magus level. Within 5 minutes, the food arrived directly in his room. A middle-aged man in black and white clothes neatly arranged the food items on the dining table and left without making a sound. Finally, Kent sighed, recalling his last meal, where he ate inside a big hotel along with Thea and her grandmother. It's already been 1 year since Grandma passed. I wonder what Thea had for lunch, Kent muttered while thinking about Thea, who always arranged his meals. Kent finished every bite without wasting a single grain and entered the aura room to practice magic. He had been stuck at the 3rd Magus stage for 2.5 years because of the Meridian curse and was eager to see how much would be his progress now. As he stepped inside and sat in a meditative posture, the aura room locked automatically. However, Kent had forgotten to lock the main door. Chapter 9, Stop Staring at Women. Before diving into the story, please take note of the 7 stages to become a Supreme Magus. All the meridians are connected from the backbone to the skull. There are 7 rings attached from the tail of the backbone to the skull. Primary Mage, Class 1 to 5. Secondary Mage, Class 6 to 10. Elder Mage, Class 11 and 12. Master Mage, whoever masters any particular element in nature. Grandmaster Mage, mastery of mystic arts. Mortal Sovereign Magus, development of a third eye on the forehead of the mage which can be controlled. Supreme Magus, the ultimate magician capable of defeating 100 mortal sovereigns at once. The primary-secondary rings contain 5 compartments for storing aura. A person who can fill aura inside these compartments can surpass their current stage. As Kent closed his eyes and focused on absorbing the aura, a surge of white aura rushed into his meridians like a flooding river. Before this, the aura used to trickle down into his meridians, which were very narrow and twisted to allow the free flow of aura energy. Like an energy bar, the aura filled his 4th and 5th compartments inside his primary mage cycle. Instead of pushing forward, Kent stabilized his aura. Like a shaken Coke bottle, the aura continued to flood his medians, soon filling the 6th and 7th compartments of the secondary mage cycle. Kent quickly stopped the incoming aura and concentrated on refining the energy within his primary mage cycle. As the primary cycle began revolving at a rapid speed, black impurities were expelled out of his body. His heart began racing as he gasped for air, focused on interconnecting the 5 compartments of the primary mage cycle. For some new readers who are new to magic novels, if you are a third-class mage, you can control 3 compartments of aura in the outside world. Similarly, the same pattern continues. Finally, after 2 hours of meditation, Kent woke up with a serene smile playing on his lips. In one sitting, he had advanced to 7th class Magus. Without wasting another second, he moved to the combat room to test his strength. The combat room was a long rectangular chamber similar to a modern firing range. As far as he remembered, Kent had only studied basic mace skills. He manipulated the aura to create magic weapons like daggers, swords, sabers, and spears, all gleaming with a transparent golden color. After conjuring those weapons, he attacked the dummies that stood at the far end of the combat chamber. Most of the weapons disappeared midair, and only a few daggers could reach the dummies, but even after contact, they only left a shallow mark. Worst of all, these basic skill books are useless. I must get a powerful skill book. The school only has some trash skills, Kent muttered, scratching his head in frustration after analyzing his performance. Buying skill books as an outsider was difficult. Even if we were to have enough gold, Kent would need a Wizard Hall recognition token to buy one. Hence, most people depended on the schools. The schools are also very partial since they only provide advanced skill books to talented mages in return for their service. Even after an hour of trying, Kent's combat improvement remained minimal. Without a skill book, he couldn't manipulate his aura freely. It was like being a scholar who couldn't speak the language. After letting out a sigh, Kent stopped his practice and went out to roam the streets. Neon lights illuminated all the stores, and as the night deepened, he saw several girls in modern clothes heading to the clubs. Kent tried to keep his thoughts straight as the beautiful ladies in short skirts walked by, their long legs and alluring thighs attracting his gaze. A thick, feminine scent filled his nostrils, intoxicating his mind with bad thoughts. "Stop staring at women. Don't you know any manners?" Suddenly, a lady shouted from his side. Kent shrugged and turned toward the voice. The woman's reprimand was so loud that a few ladies passing beside Kent gave him a disgusted look. After seeing the woman who shouted at him, Kent felt a bit of relief. It was Thea, his promised wife. "Is this your first time seeing women?" Thea questioned with a cold glare, her irritation evident in her tone. "Why do you care?" "I'm not looking at you," Kent replied, staring directly at her face. Both of them stared at each other with cold expressions. Why is this idiot not showing any fear? Thea thought while gripping her fists. Before this, Kent had always shown concern for her, as he heartily considered Thea as his wife, but the recent incident with Thea completely changed his attitude towards her. "HMMHH, let's see how many days you can survive on borrowed money," Thea commented angrily and left with a cold shrug. Kent stared at her fleeting figure for a long time, memories stirring in his mind. He remembered how he used to sleep next to her. Even though Thea scolded him every time, she would let him sleep by her side until Grandma died. Thinking about the past, Kent moved forward. He finished his dinner in a small roadside stall where he used to eat every time and turned back towards the Hotel Moonlight. "I should call my aunt for some advice on skill books. She might help me get an advanced skill book," Kent muttered while walking towards the ground eagles inside the hotel. As he got onto the eagle to reach his room, a pair of eyes who stood at the reception continued to stare at him with a wide open mouth. "Hey, Mona, guess who I saw at Hotel Moonlight?" Rick, Mona's current boyfriend, asked in a surprised tone. It was Rick who had seen Kent inside the hotel. "Who?" Mona was questioned with a confused face. "The girl who had warned Kent about the repayment of debt." It's Kent, I saw him with my own eyes. Also, he was holding a room keystone, Rick exclaimed aloud. What, that's impossible. I don't think it would be Kent. You must have seen someone who looks like him, Mona spoke modestly, unable to believe the news. No, I'm damn sure. It definitely was Kent, and since I'm with my dad, I can't follow him. Otherwise, I would have sent a video message, Rick insisted while holding his glass orb toward his face. Mona remained silent, struggling to believe his words. Rick, let's ask him tomorrow. I'm really curious about how he got money to pay for a room, she finally replied after some thought. Ok, I will meet you tomorrow. I'm with my dad now. Goodbye, babe, Rick said before disconnecting the call with a wave. Just as he finished the call, the receptionist said, Sir, the standard rooms are under renovation. Only VIP rooms are available. What do you mean? I just saw a pauper guy. Before Rick could finish his rent, his father stopped him by blocking his mouth. Just as Kent prepared for sleep, his old glass orb began glowing and vibrating inside the bamboo bag. Why is she calling me now? Kent muttered, staring at Thea's image on his old glass orb, not the sky orb given by his aunt. Chapter 10, Tycoon. After pondering for a moment, Kent blocked his image and connected to the message with only his voice. Where are you? Thea demanded in a stern tone, irritation clear in her voice. What do you want? Kent asked, ignoring her question. HMMHH, you might be rolling on streets for all I care, come and pick up your trash. I'm cleaning the house, Thea scoffed coldly. Why are you cleaning at this time? It's already midnight. Don't you have classes tomorrow? Kent asked, puzzled. Stop blabbing, take your trash now, or I will throw it in the bin, Thea snapped before disconnecting the call. What a fool, can't he understand that I'm giving him a chance to plead? It seems like this lesson isn't enough for him. I need to act more strictly, Thea muttered while placing the glass orb on a table. Kent washed his face, came out of the hotel, and placed a bronze coin on the pet pole. Soon, an old man riding a house eagle landed in front of him. Kent mounted the eagle and said, Sky Family Street. 5 minutes later, the eagle landed near the old villa where Kent used to live. After paying 10 bronze coins to the old man, Kent walked towards the old villa. As he knocked, the door opened immediately since Thea was waiting for him at the door, contemplating how to handle the situation. Kent's gaze landed on her long legs. Thea wore tight shorts, exposing her milky white thighs and a white t-shirt which accentuated her curves and breathtaking mounts which the young man couldn't help but notice. How smelly, don't you have another pair of clothes? Thea said in a disgusted tone, acting as if she was pinching her nose. Kent ignored her and began gathering his things from a table. First, take a shower and remove your things from the washroom. I can't bear this smell, Thea interrupted him in a loud tone. Kent continued to ignore her and went inside the washroom and collected his belongings in a small bag. What audacity, he dares to ignore me like I'm nobody. Let's see how many days he acts this way. I will have my revenge when he comes back and begs me, Thea muttered with an angry face while staring at Kent. Except for his clothes and a few daily necessities, Kent didn't have much to grab. Within 10 minutes, he had gathered everything on a table. After thinking for some time, he spread his bedsheet on the floor and placed everything in it before tying its ends and carrying them on his shoulders like an old-age washerman. Just as he stepped outside, Kent turned to Thea. What is it? Do you want to plead now? Thea questioned with a serious face. Thea, I'm really sorry for all the trouble I caused you. If you need any help in the future, feel free to ask me. Kent stared at Thea's face while speaking in a humble tone. What could you possibly help me with? First, worry about your survival, Thea responded with a cold face. After seeing her indifference, Kent turned around to leave the place. He had first considered sharing information about his new wealth, but his aunt spoke about enemies tracing him. That's why Kent decided to keep his wealth secret for the time being. Don't worry, guys, Kent isn't the type of guy who acts weak to hide his wealth. We will flaunt our wealth because money is our melody. Thea was surprised when Kent left without another word. She had expected him to plead with her to let him stay as soon as he came home. Kent, she called out urgently, you can stay for the night if you want, Thea said with a serious face, refusing to show weakness. Kent stared at her cold face, searching for any sign of concern for him. If you're ready to accept me as your hubby, I will stay in this house with you. Otherwise, don't ever bother me, Kent said while holding her gaze for a long moment before walking along the road. Thea stood there, unsure how to respond to Kent after hearing his words. Her mind raced with several thoughts about their relationship. Did he really love me that much? I thought he was only calling me wifey to take advantage of me. Thea felt the seriousness in Kent's words, but her anger clouded her thoughts as Kent ignored her invitation. Whatever, he will come to me automatically in a few days, Thea muttered, heading back inside. After leaving Sky Family Street, Kent called for pet service and arrived at the entrance of Hotel Moonlight. The onlookers stared at him with their eyes wide open as he carried a heavy load on his shoulder. with his small bamboo bag unable to hold everything. He could only carry his belongings manually. Some onlookers laughed and took pictures. However, Kent ignored everyone and headed to his VIP room. It's really painful to carry this much weight. I need to buy a big storage bag tomorrow, Kent muttered as he collapsed onto the bed. In a small wooden apartment on the second floor, two stepsisters sat opposite each other in their rented room. So, tell me, how did you lose your job? Sony's stepsister, Luna, questioned with a serious face. Sony explained everything, from Kent's arrival to the events where the manager slapped her without hiding anything. I don't know why the manager reacted so violently. That ordinary-looking young master seemed to agree with my lead. But one thing is sure, he's a tycoon. That fellow bought a wild beast like a toy. If I ever meet him again. Sony trailed off, thinking of Kent, who had paid 1049 gold coins without hesitation. Sony, show me his contact information, Luna demanded as she picked up her glass orb. Why, I don't think such a tycoon will care about strangers, Sony uttered while passing her glass orb to Luna. Didn't you say he's a young man? I have many ways to let him talk. Tomorrow, I will ask my manager to arrange a job for you in any of his stores. Go to sleep now, Luna replied as she finished transferring Kent's sky orb contact details into her glass orb. After that, Luna went inside the restroom and took a few pictures of herself while exposing her low cleavage and snow-white thighs. She posed with different expressions, tongue out, licking, cat eye, and bulging ball pose. After she was satisfied with the pictures, she opened the spell chat interface, a default communication platform for every communication orb in the magic world, and sent one picture with a low cleavage and one with a tongue-licking pose. Hey Tycoon, do you like my pictures? I'm really a big fan of yours. I hope we will meet soon, Luna tagged a voice note beneath the picture. She stared at Kent's profile for any information, but it only appeared blank with the default gold coin image. She saved Kent's profile as Tycoon in her glass orb. Let's give him some time. I bet he can't resist my mountains, Luna giggled as she walked out of the washroom. Sony studies at a different school. She is proficient in making dark potions, which is why she chose a witch school proficient in potion making. Dark potions include poisonous, negative effect type and arousal potions.